Hey y'all, what's up? I am Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her podcast. I am so excited about today's interview, and this is my girl. I love her. I never met her in person, but social media, that's my dog. I love her so much. Tiana Goodwin, she is an amazing woman. She is an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. She's a jack of all trades, and she is going to keep it real and uncut for y'all. Hey, T.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey. So I'm really excited about this. And one of the things I want to talk about is how upfront you are and honest and how you educate people on a daily basis on social media.
Well, it's just so important to be authentic and transparent, especially on social media, because social media is an environment that we as people created. We show them what we want them to see, whether it's real or not. I have always been told to be just upfront and blunt with everything, and I try not to hurt people's feelings along the way, but some people's feelings honestly need to be hurt. So it's best to just show up as your most authentic self, especially when you're in business, because that's how you get your target audience. That's how you get those new clients, those continuous clients. They be like, oh, I really like her and she gives it to me 100. So I'm gonna just keep going to her, because a lot of people sugarcoat stuff just to get your money. So I'm really not in that kind of business. I do business because I love what I do. I love meeting people. I love understanding their stories, and I love to see them blossom in business. So it's important to just keep going hard. You don't have to be ignorant about it, but to make sure that people understand where you're coming from. So when they meet you in person, they can't say, oh, that's a different girl. That's not who I met over the phone or on a Zoom or whatever the case may be. It's the same exact person. I'm not sending a representative. I'm sending me.
I know that's right. So before you started everything, because you a jack of all trades, what was one of the first businesses that you discovered and you was like, I'm really good at this?
So I actually am an event planner at heart. I actually
What?
left my corporate job to pursue my event planning business full time back in 2000 and ooh, 17, 18. I had already kind of like been doing events, just, like whether it was in church or, for your family members or somebody, one of your girlfriends, like, oh, I'm having a baby. Can you do some of my baby shower stuff? All this other stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and kind of like put my feet in the water and see how it is paying out. Of course, I prayed about it before I left, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you're not getting them paychecks every 2 weeks. You on your own, probably getting some welfare insurance. But you gotta be humble about it. You have to be very humble about it, and you have to believe in yourself. Eventually, I went back to work. But I did say that if I went back to work, I would want to work part-time, and I want to work in an industry where I can increase my network. So I ended up at a victim service agency here in the city. I actually get to use my degree now. I work and I do their branding and marketing there. So it kind of like worked out in my favor, but it's okay if you got to go back to work though. So don't feel bad.
Yes. Now, speaking of going back to work or just you working while you still working on your own brand, can you stress to people how it is okay to still have a job and still run your own business? Because sometimes when people are speaking about starting their own business, they be like, oh, just go quit your job and start your business. Can you
Mm-mm.
let them know how sometimes it's okay to work? You could do both.
Yes, you definitely can do both. You might be a little bit tired, or, drained and exhausted and have burnout and so on and so forth. But you have to look at the demand of your 9 to 5 and then the demand of your business. And you just have to kind of weigh the pros and the cons, because it's ways you can implement your business without overwhelming yourself. So, if you're working a 9 to 5 job and you come home, you can't just go straight to the grind, because you don't get to turn off from your 9 to 5. So what I know, when I left my job, while I was doing my job and my corporate job and doing my event planning at the same time, I had so much burnout. I was in the hospital twice due to anxiety builds up and
Yeah.
all this other is not worth it. So what I decided to do was, okay, if I'm still working this 9 to 5, I'm gonna work 9 to 5. I'm gonna go home, I'm going to chill for about 2 hours to kind of decompress. And then I'll do my business for, let's say, an additional 2 to 3 hours. That way I'm still respectable of the time that I go to sleep. And that way I can get up and go to work the next day. So you can definitely do it. You'd be surprised if you work both jobs. You can, like I said, increase your network, because I be pulling them people. Hey, y'all need what? Oh, so it's best to use that as well. And then you use the funds that you get from your regular job to fund your business.
Yes.
There's no, I'm out here with no money. Oh, somebody on Instagram told me I should leave my job. Are they going to be helping you when you leave your job with no money? You know,
Right.
it's a lot of people who are very successful. Those who take a leap out on faith, talk about how they had the $100 in their account and so on and so forth. But build that support system, because you're definitely going to need it.
Yes, you definitely gonna need it because it's a struggle, man. Especially in the economy today, for sure.
It's hard. It's hard just trying to find a good circle of people. All your friends aren't business friends. I tell people that all the time. When you're building your network and your circles, you have that group of friends you can go to the club with. You have that group of friends y'all can go to networking events together. You got that group of friends y'all can go on vacations together without asking where your money at, because the deposit is due. You have all these different circles of friends. So when you get that support from those business friends, make sure you take them along with you, because you never know how they can assist you in your journey.
That is so true. Now, speaking of assisting in a journey, so you're into marketing. What fields are you really, really good at that you really love to do as far as helping people with their marketing and branding?
So my biggest thing is creative direction, assisting various clients in building what the visual should look like for their brand. And these things are what's going to attract the customer. The last thing I hate is for someone to have reached out to either a creative director, a videographer, photographer, whoever, and they're like, okay, this is my vision. And then they go ahead and execute. And then when you see these pictures, you're confused on what they sell.
That's so
So the focus is to make sure that people get it. A lot of people just be looking like, okay, well, Lamar from around the corner did my pictures for my baby shower, so I know he can do my pictures for my marketing, for my brand. And that might not be the case, because that might
no.
not be his strengths. So you also have to be very particular on who you pick and ask people around, because I know sometimes when I go on Instagram or on Facebook or TikTok, I'm always looking to see who we may have in common. So if we have some people that I know I might talk to, I'll be like, hey girl, how was your experience? Have you ever utilized them for any services, and so on and so forth? And that's how I can kind of like validate that this person is good at what they do. So you have to do some research. But creative direction is what I love to do. Building these stories, because that's what brands are. They tell stories, and building them from the bottom up. Every vision we have for our own brand might not be what people need to see. So you might as well just release that responsibility to somebody else and allow them to do it, because honestly, they have the experience and they have the team to help execute.
That is true. Can you let them know like how important it is to have clean branding? Because a lot of times, sometimes people will reach out and they send you a selfie as their
Mm-mm,
headshot
mm-mm,
photo for
mm-mm,
an interview
mm-mm,
or anything, or even them reaching out to people and not having a advertising deck or even an EPK or anything like that. Let them know how intense that branding is, even as far as websites. Some people have really pretty bad websites and it's
mm-hmm,
not on point. And that's where a lot of people is going to look at of the upper scale. They're
mm-hmm.
going to look at that.
Yeah, they are. And that the importance of just clean branding is what sells. Louis Vuitton hasn't changed anything. Gucci hasn't changed anything. Walmart hasn't changed anything. Rite Aid hasn't changed anything but a logo. So it's like what they do works, and what they do could possibly work for you too. So you don't need to be all over the place. Like I mentioned earlier, it sucks to have to go to a page or a website and have to figure out what this person does, when it shouldn't be that way. So aesthetically, everything should be the same across the board. So if your brand colors, let's say, are pink, purple, and blue, which is technically my own podcast brand colors. They need to be the same all across the board. Try to incorporate them everywhere, because people don't understand that even all the way down to fonts and colors, they carry emotion.
Yeah.
You never go to a spa and see hot pink and yellow, because those colors don't make you relax, they make you hype. So, you see the more common earth tone colors, your browns, your blues, your creams, and those colors. So people have to understand that everything plays a part. But you don't have to have a logo in order to start your business. So, just get started. That's the biggest thing you can do, is just start. But aesthetically, everything needs to be clean, is what's going to attract your clientele. Like I said, if you tired of them girls from around the way buying your eyelashes and stuff, then it might be time to level up. But you also have to put yourself in the rooms where you can level up, or make those connections where you can level up, because everything don't always fall in your lap all the time.
Yes. Speaking of leveling up and connections and stuff, I know you stress that a lot about people, having certain friends for certain things
Mhm.
and everything. What is one of the things that you did when you realized you had to make that transition for to level yourself up and get where you're at today?
Mhm. I think just having those, I don't want to say hard conversations, but having those hard conversations with your close friends. Hey, y'all, I'm about to embark on this entrepreneur journey, and it's going to require me to be around some different people. And it's okay if we don't hang out as much as we used to. Because I have a girlfriend who I actually went to high school with. We were roommates in college together. Like, we stuck at the hip since 2000.
Oh.
And she like, girl, who you hanging out with? You didn't tell me you can hang out with this person. And I just be like, girl, you gotta chill, stop. But then she'll turn around and be like, T, you got a contact for blah, blah, blah. And I just be like, see, you see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
it's good to kind of just have those conversations and just work. Put in the work so they can see, like, oh shoot, like such and such really leveling up by, surrounding themselves. But like I said, putting yourself in those rooms is what's important.
It
You
is.
might have to travel on your own dime. You might have to, just take a quick trip somewhere. You might have to hooky work. I ain't telling you to hooky work. You might have to hooky work, one day. Because that's actually what actually catapulted me to leave my corporate job. I was working corporate education, and one of my clients was an African king who lived in New Jersey, who was getting married. His wife wanted to have an American wedding, and he said, this is the only time I can meet up. And I said, oh my gosh, am I going to like not go in, or am I going to go and leave and come back? Like, I was just so confused. And I was like, you know what the hell with it? I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to take this day. Girl, when I left, he gave me not just my deposit, the entire payment. And I said, all I had to
Ooh.
do was show up for a half an hour. Oh no, I got to do this. This is where I'm
For
supposed to be.
real.
This is where I got to be. And then even after that, he still gave me a crazy tip at the end. And I had assistants working with me because their wedding, of course, was huge. And I'm like, yo, like this is where I need to be. This is exactly where I
Mhm.
need to be.
It be feeling good though, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
you,
it puts you in that space like, oh, I'm really supposed to do this. You have to start, if you're going to start a business, you have to be super passionate about it. Don't start a business because Kiki from around the corner did it or your girlfriend is doing it. Sometimes your purpose in life is to be a teacher. It is to be a lawyer. It is to be a doctor, because you are changing lives on it every day, just like we as entrepreneurs are changing lives every day.
yeah, that is so true. Cause, girl, listen, I was lost at first, but now it's like a steady pace. I'm doing
Mhm.
stuff that I love to do, and
Yes.
it makes you feel good.
Hmm.
It's
That's
like
what it's
you just
about.
in your own zone, in your own world, and just be like, "Can't nobody tell me nothing."
Okay, but as an entrepreneur, I quit every day, y'all.
Yeah,
I quit
every
every
day.
day.
I'm
And,
tired.
and that's okay. And that's okay. Those in the beginning, I always talk about those long night, early mornings. That don't exist for me anymore, because I had to create those boundaries. Those boundaries have to be
Yes.
real. If you don't have any business hours, even if you don't have an office or whatever the case may be, implement those, because what you don't want to do is give people access to you all the time, especially when it's business related. You might have a family, you might have a husband or wife, you might indulge in traveling, you might just want to just indulge in your self-care, taking care of yourself, and you can't allow these individuals to kind of take over what you're trying to do. So creating those boundaries is super duper important.
Yes, it is. So one of the important things I want to talk to you about, me and you have in common, is that we both lost our moms.
Yes.
So can you elaborate more on how you're trying to balance,
Mhm.
still keep going with your business, keep going just for yourself,
Mhm.
and still navigating and showing up all the time, even though you're still grieving? Because that's something we'll never get over. And a lot of people say it'll get better, but sometimes I feel like it get worse.
It don't. It really don't. Of course, for those who don't follow me or know about my story, I lost my mom in 2009. And I actually lost my father in 2007. So I don't have neither parent. So it in the beginning, of course, it was super hard. Like my mom, that was my best friend, ride or die. I'm the only child. So it's like,
That's
man,
a
what I'm
lot.
gonna do? So after a while I had to kind of get myself together because of course I was indulging in things I normally don't do, and was just out here just living my best life. I mean, I was young. I was 23 when my mom passed away. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just do me. And my coping mechanisms wasn't the best. But then I had to have a wake-up call real quick. And I said, T, it's time to get yourself together. So, of course, the first thing I did was get some therapy because I knew I wasn't right in previous. I mean, I didn't have a bad childhood or anything like that, but I just had to grow up fast because I took care of my mom for so long. So I
Mhm.
don't think I missed out on my childhood, but I feel like I missed out on my childhood, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So
Yeah.
after a while, I said, all right, I'm navigating this thing called grief for real, for real. I'm really sitting in it now. And you think about all the things that are going to transpire that your parent is not going to be around for. So like you having your first kid, or you may be purchasing your first home, or getting married, especially for girls.
Yeah.
Your mom isn't there, for that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I know I'm not the only person going through this. There's no way. I'm just not the only person going through this. So I thought about it for a while, for a long, long time. And God was like, go ahead, move on it, move, like literally. So that's when I created the White Rose Society, the private Facebook group for women of all ages who have lost their moms. Now, when we talk about loss, it does not always mean just the physical, like gone, off, away, deceased. We're talking about
Mhm.
mothers who may even indulge in heavy drinking, heavy addiction, who they don't have no relationships with their moms. So I
Mhm.
even have a lot of those women as well in that group. But it is kind of hard navigating my own business. But like I said, I do everything with purpose. So anything that I implement, I know my mom will be like, go girl,
Right.
doing what you supposed to do, and it helps me in the long run. I always take her everywhere with me, like, all these experiences I'm going, I'm experiencing, and even just businesses that I haven't even launched yet. Like everything is very intentional. And I know that she is right down, looking down from the heavens, probably cutting up, singing a song or two or three or something, and making sure, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and putting those right people in my path.
That's good. So during the process, are you still getting yourself therapy?
Yes. So I was just telling somebody just the other day, therapy, I'm like kind of like transitioning now. So I'm transitioning into a new therapist because my therapist from back then is not going to be able to assist me with the things I'm going through now in my adult life.
Okay.
So I want people to understand also that your therapist doesn't always have to grow with you. There are other people that you can kind of build these relationships with that can kind of assist you to navigate life and grief and loss and all of that.
Yeah, because I had to myself, like, even switch therapists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you outgrow them in certain areas, and after they know you so well, it's like you have to make some sort of transition
Yeah.
and get somebody to give you newer
Mm-hmm.
information on newer hurt that they see or
Yep.
newer accomplishments and stuff.
Cause that grief shows up everywhere. Oh, it's so sneaky. It's like
Yes.
it's just like the devil. So it's like, it's so sneaky and it pops up anywhere, anytime, through anything. Like I can be in the car and a song come on and I just start crying out of nowhere. You know what I'm
Girl,
saying? Or
yes.
you might walk somewhere and you might smell something. You be like, oh my gosh, that's a trigger. Knowing your triggers is very helpful. Like, but you just
Oh,
don't know. You just
no,
don't know
you
when it's
don't.
gonna pop up.
Yes, that is so true. So speaking of other businesses, you have a new line getting ready to come out. 80, what is it? 80i?
8,
Eight I?
8 hour. Yes.
Yes. I be loving your glasses.
Girl, I try to switch them up. The day I ain't switch them up. I probably been wearing these for about a week now. But you know, I love eyewear. I tell people this brand is going to be like super dope, super exclusive. It's not going to be like a whole bunch of frames. Like, hey, I got 1,000 frames on my website. It's only going to be 8 to 10 every time. And it's going to be very unique because this brand speaks very personal to me. Even with coming down with the name, eight,
Mhm.
my favorite number is 8, but 8, I was born 8/8. I was born at 8 p.m. I was born at 8
Really?
p.m. Mm-hmm.
That is
8
crazy.
just really stands for a lot of stuff for me. So it was like I have to incorporate this number. And then when my homegirl did the graphic for it and then incorporated these frames, I was like, oh, this is it right here. Like, this is going down. This is going down. And it's just so many things that's going to be birthed from this actual eyewear line. And I just want people to understand that wearing glasses is fun now. Like, as a kid, I hated it. I started wearing glasses at 8 years old. How about that? At 8 years old. And I used to walk to school with my glasses on. Then when I got to school, I used to take them off because I didn't want people to talk about me. I already was wearing braces. So imagine wearing braces and you got to wear glasses. It's just too
Girl.
much. It's too much. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and try to get used to this thing. Now you can't tell me nothing. I'd rather wear a pair of glasses over a pair of contacts any day. Okay, because they really show off your personality. It boosts your
Yeah,
confidence.
they do.
It really let people know who you are when you step into the room. Like, oh, she fly. It's always one piece that people always notice all the time. And for me, it's always my glasses. So I figured I might as well go ahead and do it. My boyfriend gets mad all the time. He'd be like, why we always gotta go somewhere? And the people gotta be like, oh, I like your glasses. I like it. Where you get your glasses from? All this other stuff. I probably got all the nurses at the hospital. They all to my girl, let me get your Instagram. So when they drop, I'm ready to buy. Because nurses, they gotta wear glasses. They read
Yeah.
scripts and reading numbers all day long. And that's a market, honestly, that I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
So that was just an eye opener for me. So yes, 8 eyewear is going to be amazing. So during the holiday season, we'll be doing some like pre-orders and stuff.
That is nice. So are you gonna change them like seasonal or anything?
So that's what I was kind of thinking about doing. So I'm going to, of course, have some staples, which some of the staples is going to be a pair that I have on now. Some staples, and then I'm probably going to switch it up. And then I was actually meeting with a couple people, couple designers and stuff. So maybe sometime next year, probably around my birthday, I'll be releasing my own custom frames that'll be limited. So
Ooh.
it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope, and I can't wait for everybody to see them.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm gonna have to put my prescription eye in there.
Yes, girl, get your prescriptions put in. I'm actually working with
Yes.
somebody right now to figure out how I can incorporate that because I figure that accessibility will make it so much easier versus somebody buying a pair of frames and then having to take them to an eye place
Yeah.
to have to get the lens put in. So hopefully we can work this thing out.
Girl, this gonna come. It's gonna come. Cause
Yes.
they be looking so cute. I be like, where she be getting these glasses from? I'm like, man, like you have yellow, red, black and
Girl,
white.
I
Like
got
you
some
have every
all.
color,
I
every
had to get a container to even put all my glasses in. And that container holds, I think, 30. And I think almost every slot is filled. It's crazy.
that is crazy
It's
now.
crazy. I'm addicted, girl. I'm
I
addicted.
see. Well, at least you found your niche on
Yes.
like how you can brand yourself. It's
Mhm.
like it's very difficult sometimes
Yeah.
to even find that, especially when you're good at so much stuff. And then you like, man, what type of merch I can have for my brand, and I can use it for
Correct.
all of them. And you could literally
Hmm.
use it for anything.
Anything, literally anything. Like I said, it's going to be so many things birthed from this. I'm going to be in the process of probably doing something for kids, and then a foundation, because before my mom passed away, she had a lot of visual impairments. That's also another reason why I started the Outwear line. She had a lot of visual impairments, and my mom sometimes would wear two glasses at a time, so you can only imagine how bad her eyes were. So it's just like, I want to be able to raise funds for people to for research, so people can understand, like, you don't have to be super old to be diagnosed with glaucoma or cataracts or retina detachment, or you got to get a cornea transplant, or just even something as small as astigmatism. So I want to be able to kind of partner with some bigger brands and stuff like that to make some stuff really, really happen. So it's gonna be good,
Okay.
y'all.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Hmm.
I
It's gonna be
can't wait to
good.
see it.
Yes.
That is amazing. So another amazing thing that I'm excited about is you on your 100th episode.
Yes, ma'am.
Purposely bossed up,
I am
y'all.
so hyped. I am super excited about this. Like, who would have thought? Some people start these podcasts and they stop
Girl,
all the
listen,
time.
before the third episode.
They be like, I gotta record, I gotta edit, I gotta
Yeah,
add a beginning and an end. I gotta, yeah. If you
girl,
want it to be legitly decent, these are the things you gotta
listen,
do.
podcasting is like is I think it's worse than a full-time job, honestly.
She said it's worse than a part-time job.
It
But people don't
is.
think about, like, you literally be talking to people all the time. And that's
Yeah.
because you choose to have a conversation with people. Think about the podcast where it's only one person talking all the time.
And you gotta think of stuff to talk about.
Correct. Worthy for people to listen to. So you talking about, it can't be no 5-10 minute conversation. Your joint gotta be at
Mm-mm.
least a half an hour. So it's
Yes.
like, I'd rather just talk to people. I mean, I'm nosy anyway, so that worked out in my favor. But yes, girl, 100 is quickly approaching.
That is
Quickly.
good. That is amazing. So was it a struggle for you to just keep going?
It was, because I feel like every time I quit that job too all the time. Yes. I quit podcasting every other day. It's hard because you're trying to figure out who you want to talk to.
Yes.
So this is why it was so important to me when I first started. I didn't even care, because I was like, I just want to get myself out there. I was doing my own editing at that time. I was listening to some old episodes like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this editing job is horrible.
Man, my
I
first
didn't,
season is trash.
I didn't even care. I didn't even care. I was like, listen, I have to make a way for me to be able to hire an editor to edit this stuff, because this is not what it's hitting for. Okay. But I didn't care who was on my podcast. I didn't care if you were a super mom, a super dad, or you were an entrepreneur. I just wanted people to come on and kind of like just be authentic and tell their stories. But as the seasons went on, I said, okay, Instagram started popping. I said, all right, when I'm not doing any recordings, because I was doing batch recordings, just like you do, like batch recordings. I'm recording 3 and 4 episodes every other week. So it's
Mhm.
like, this is tiring. So I said, all right, instead of me doing all of these episodes, I'm gonna just go ahead and go on Instagram Live, and we can just do some conversations on there. That was when we were only just 2 people on the Instagram Live. Now we 4 people on the Instagram Live. So now I can add more people, but I also started themed months, because I had to scale back on these people sending me all these emails. Oh, you should put my client on there because of X, Y, and Z. No, I should not, because they don't fit in the themes that are coming up. Sorry, you're going to have to put your client later. And sometimes some people want you to circle back on different themes, and I'm just like, I don't feel like it. So my platform might not be the platform for you. But yeah, I had to literally like scale it down and make sure that, if talking about domestic violence this month, this is what it's gonna be. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. And somebody even got mad at me one time, just recently. I'm like, why you in your feelings? But for the months of September and October, I'm highlighting individuals that are, just paying homage to Hip Hop 50.
Uh-huh.
Well, honey, my inbox blew up so hard. Oh, I got this rapper. I got this rapper. I have this producer. I have that producer. And I'm just like, y'all do understand that hip hop is more than music, right? It is a culture. It's a
Yes,
culture.
it's so
Like
like
we're talking about more than just hip hop, like rap and just producing. We're talking about makeup artists. We're talking about nail techs. I have a girl that Bernadette has been doing nails in the hip hop industry for over 20 years. So it's like just even her, we have to highlight these people that are in the,
yes.
as we say, content video, videographers, choreographers. I just had a
Yeah.
choreographer who was doing all the videos back in the day.
The
So
stylist,
yeah,
all
like
that.
everything. And they was like, well, you should bring my client here because they did. And I was just like, well, no, I honestly don't have any more spots, but I also don't want any more entertainers. And they were, oh, well, you should leave them right on red. Don't even respond back. I'm not going to argue with you on something that I chose to do.
I know
Mm-mm.
that's right.
My last email is what it said. As my shirt say. Can y'all see what my shirt say? Per
Okay.
my last email.
It's
I said what I said. Okay, that's it. That's it.
get
There's
on
no
my
more
nerves.
conversation after that. There's no more conversation after that.
It's true, and sometimes when they bombard you, it's overwhelming because you have to narrow it down. You have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure they fit your platform,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them they don't have the greatest content either.
Nope. Nope.
So it's like you have to make sure you get what you get. I've had people went off like
Yeah.
a few times. I mean a lot.
They be doing the most. They do the most. It's
Yes.
like, do you really want your client on here to really tell their story? Because that's what you're doing as a publicist. You're putting out that, that content for them to make sure they get booked to
Yeah.
tell their story of their brand, or are you just trying to get them a placement?
Yeah, and that's what it is because I'll be trying to tell them. Like, I even had to like switch a few things on mine and let them know this is about business transformation and
Mhm.
personal testimonies.
Yeah.
Like, if we are talking about that, I can't just promote their song because a song is out, but I had to also ask them personal questions because
Mhm.
you didn't make this song for no reason. You didn't just start this overnight. So it's like sometimes they don't want to talk about that. So that's when I'll be like, I can't do nothing.
I can't do nothing for you. And that's what
Yeah.
it is,
And it's
period.
like I don't care if it's a celebrity. You're gonna talk about your testimony.
Yep. That's what the whole point of the podcast is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People send me all kinds of stuff, girl. If I can, people don't know the half that goes into my email.
Yeah. It's rough. How do you feel like did you like doing the red carpet events and all the events that you did at Essence and everything?
Oh, what? Oh my gosh. And I tell people all the time, Essence was a serious game changer. COVID was a bad time for the world as a whole, but it was a good time for me because it
Yeah.
allowed me so many more opportunities to kind of promote my platform as a media platform. It just opened up a whole new world for me when I started pitching my platform as a media platform. So just being at Essence, first of all, just even getting approved for Essence. I tell people all the time, I applied for
Girl.
Essence 2 times prior and didn't get approved. And then this time I had got approved for this year and was able to go out there with a team of 4. And it was just everything and some. Like we're currently planning now for next year. Because one, Essence is going to be celebrating their 30th year.
Yeah.
So that's already going to be epic.
Yeah.
And we just trying to get on the ball with other things. Because granted, I did have a daytime pass, which was fine by me. Because I was able to split my team up. So we were able to be in some places and they were doing interviews and me and somebody else was doing interviews. So that worked out. But I also got invites to private events, which really was better because a lot of the events, the best ones are the independent ones. So we were able to connect with a lot of people there and just have us a good time. It was just nice to see all the girls and even some of the guys come together as a culture and nothing be like, and no drama, no nothing like that. We can
Right.
still coexist without starting no mess, you know. So it was definitely an amazing time. If nobody's never went, please go.
Yes. What was your greatest experience and you was just like, wow, I really just
Let me see. I think, hmm, I think the what, just at Essence or just all together?
all together.
Oh shoot. Um, I think one of it's probably like when I first started doing media. I probably was only maybe 3 or 4 events in, and I always tell the story about how I was stalking Monique Slaughter people for so long, because I wanted to interview her, because you know she's really big on mental health, and
Yes, she
you
is.
know, and I was like, dang, I want to interview her, and her people would never respond, but when they did, they was just like, you know, she's not available, blah blah blah. You know how they go. So then one of my girlfriends, La, had hit me up and was like, T, I'm doing this series. It was called like Convos and like chefs and convos. So basically it was for Black Chef Week. And it is highlighting all different types of Black chefs, but also incorporating conversations. So I was like, all right, cool. So me and my girlfriend went down there. She took pictures. And like I said, this is the beginning of my game. I was still recording from my cell phone. And Monique Slaughter was there. She was the keynote speaker.
What?
She performed like 5 songs. She was on a panel with some other individuals that are kind of like mental health experts and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't believe this. Like sometimes some things do circle back.
They
They
do.
circle back, and you just really have to have the patience for that. Because by the time I got to where she was already overwhelmed, because you know she had been singing and speaking all evening, but I was able to do my interview with her, and it was a nice 5 minutes.
I
But that's
know
all
that's
I needed.
right.
That's all I needed. That was all I needed. So I always kind of like look back at those moments and be like, you know, all I did was just be patient. Because when I used to not hear from a lot of people or people told me no, I immediately got discouraged. And it's the human in me, you know. But after a while, I'm just be like, okay, I can't be upset about something that I be preaching to other people. Okay, well, no means next opportunity. They'll come back around. And
They sure will.
that's exactly what happened.
They sure will. It was about to be one of my greatest moments, and I was going to interview Monique.
Mm-hmm.
And it was another platform,
Okay.
and we all was together, and we was getting ready to interview her together.
Okay.
So we had to create our media flyers for her so she could
Mm-hmm.
start posting and everything. But they
Mm-hmm.
literally said in the email, do not post yet, not until approval. One of the media outlets posted theirs and they just cut everybody off. They like nobody getting an interview. I was like, man.
Wow.
I
Are
was
you
so
serious? You know, that's
yes.
just like that college project. When one person ain't doing no work, everybody gotta suffer.
Yes.
Why they just can't
Yes.
follow instructions? Just follow
I
the damn
know. I mean, it was just clear. It was even highlighted. Like it was like the first thing they said, do not post until all media is approved. And they
instructions.
just posted it anyway. They tagged her, everything. Her husband
Ah,
was pissed. He like, no.
oh, they so y'all, and it's so unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so unfortunate because one person spoiled the bunch. Like,
Yes.
no, just deny them not no interview. Like
Yeah, I'm like, why me? I ain't
exactly.
do nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. Like you ain't even do nothing. That's all right, Monique.
Girl.
She gonna come back around.
Yeah, I'm like, this don't make no sense because it would have been so perfect, especially for like black women, for us to just,
Yeah. Yeah.
communicate. So I was pissed.
I would have been so annoyed.
Yes.
So annoyed.
One of the last things I want to talk to you about is black women in media.
Mhm.
Me and you both, we are podcasters and everything, but we support each other.
Right.
Can you stress like how important it is for us to be supportive of each other and not in competition?
Mm. Collaboration over competition any day.
Yeah.
But Use it by your discretion, guys, and use discernment.
Yes.
We have to, everybody who looks like they're doing something decent, you may not always want to partner or collaborate with them and stuff like that, but you can do so much better when you grow together. It don't always have to be an event, but event might be like, T, I need you to come to Ohio because X, Y, and Z. And I'll be like, all right, sis, I'm gonna come because I'm gonna do this for you. Or if somebody can't make it somewhere, I call people up all the time. Yo, I got approval for this event in Atlanta. You think you can go down there and do interviews or whatever the case may be? And they be like, yeah, or no, I can't at this time. So it's best to kind of build that network. Like I said, I always talk about network all the time. Build that network and support each other, because media is a space that's so big. And
Yeah.
we have so many lanes in media. So it's like, how can we show up for each other, even if we can't physically be there? It might be just a share of a post, or like,
Yeah.
yes, this interview was all that, y'all check out my sis, da 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 da, or check out my bro, because there's a lot of guys in media. So it's just,
Yeah.
we have to continue to support one another. We don't get the proper recognition that we deserve as Black media.
That's true.
They'll take the Caucasian media any day. Any day. And it was actually a video that I saw. I cannot remember who was it getting interviewed, but it was like a press conference. The guy that was getting interviewed, of course, was African American, and the person that was asking the question was Black as well. But they overall were just talking about how can us as African Americans get our voice get put out there, so we can be known for what we do, versus the Caucasian individual who just trumps everything. Like their questions, their answers, their footage, anything that they do. So we just have to continue to keep being great. You never know who's watching you. My mom always told me that, and
Yeah.
it will always stick with me. You never know who's watching you. So always support your fellow media or entrepreneur or whatever it may be. Just is support don't always mean spend money.
Yeah.
It don't always mean spend money, but that collaboration over competition is definitely important, and you can just accomplish so many other things together.
And how you need to treat people good.
Girl, now listen, I get nicey sometimes, but I'm not nicey all the time. I'm nice the majority of the time. And if somebody really, 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 really pissed me off, that means you really, really did something bad. But no, I just told somebody this last night. I treat people like how I want to be treated. And
Yeah.
that's it. Like, I don't have time to bicker with you. I don't have time, because honestly, somebody might be a potential client for me. And
Mhm.
knowing if we don't have the best relationship, you going to talk bad about me. And I've had that done before. People talk trash about you, all this other stuff. But the fact of the matter is Philly is not as big as you think. And also, a lot of us creatives are in the same network.
Yeah.
But you out here running your mouth to somebody who knows me personally and you didn't even know. So they
Mhm.
coming back to tell me everything you said, and then you look stupid.
Yeah.
You
And that's
ruining my relationships based off of some stuff you made up in your head and it's not even true. Like, come on now. I ain't the one. Y'all can tell. Y'all go on my social media. I ain't out here trying to clap back all this other kind of stuff. I come with positivity all the time.
all the
Okay.
time. All the time. And
Mm-mm.
but you do it out of respect. You
Yep.
just want your respect.
Yep. That's
That's
what it
all it
is.
be.
Respect
Yeah.
me as a person and respect my business, because my
Yeah.
business is my money. That's one
Yeah.
thing you don't mess around with, is people's funds.
Yeah, that's all it be. It just be like you just speaking your truth on how you feel and how
Mhm.
you want to be treated.
Yep.
And people just gotta respect that.
People don't
But you
understand.
know how
They'll
it
never
go.
get it, girl. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. Like,
I know. I know.
that's an Instagram live. We gotta do that.
I know. So, in closing, can you let people know that it is okay to continue to move forward? Okay to get a therapist. It's just as far as just life, because life be lifing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people need words of encouragement and some positivity going on in their life right now.
Yes. The biggest thing, like you mentioned, go seek help. Talk. That's the biggest thing you can do is speak up about what you may be going through and where you need assistance. We in the talking business. We talking all the time. Me and Yvette and everybody else that's out here. We talking all day, every day. But we have to start utilizing our voices to put out information to relate to other people, because we can be kiki and doing the best things on social media. People think our lives are so perfect when they're not. We be really on social media hurting. We be out here, going through all the emotions, just trying to get ourselves together. So it's nothing wrong with being transparent. Sometimes, like, my lives on my regular page are never planned. They just I feel it. Let me just go in here and say what I need to say. I've cried on lives. I brought other people on lives, to tell their story, something real quick. Like, it's okay to just be transparent. I can't, say that enough. When you're transparent, you'll always attract the people you're supposed to be connected to. And like I said, seek the help that you need, regardless if you lost a car, if you lost a friend, if you just broke up with somebody, if you have literally lost someone, like someone passed away or whatever. Grief is all those things. And we're affected by so much trauma every single day.
Yeah.
Vicarious trauma that sometimes doesn't even it doesn't happen to you, but you're feeling it because it happened to somebody else. So we want to be able to just stay encouraged, and like I said, get that support system. That support is super duper important. Even if you don't feel like you have that support, you can hit me up. I can be an accountability partner, whatever you may need. If you just need some words of encouragement every other day, I can fit that into my schedule. We have to just start leaning on each other versus
Yeah,
being so combative with each other.
that is so true. So how can people get in contact with you?
So y'all can follow me on Instagram. It's the Tiana Experience. Soon as you start typing in and then TIJ, it'll pop right up. And then from there in my bio, you'll see all the other platforms I had. For those who are on Facebook who have experienced the loss of your mother, you can just type in the search box, the White Rose Society. And it's just a couple little questions on there. That's just some demographic questions for myself. And I'll add you right on in the group. It's quiet sometimes in the group, but that's fine. That's fine. But then some days we going in, and it's just good to have that support from other women who have experienced the same thing as you. And then for those who want to follow, my 8 eyewear platform is the number 8. This the number 8 and then IGHT eyewear. And you can find that on Instagram as well. So click the link in that bio and sign up for the mail-in, the exclusive email list, because y'all gonna get it first. And that's where you can find me on all the platforms.
One thing, T,
What, girl?
can you tell people how to spell your name?
It is Tijania.
Yes, y'all. It is so unique and cute, but they wouldn't have got that.
Girl, I've been called all kind of things. Tijuana, Tijania. Siri, she got it down packed. She be like calling Tijania. But I'm like, you got it, Siri. Yes, girl, I've been called all kind of things.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Well, thank you so much, T. I
Thank you for
enjoyed
having me.
you. I really appreciate you for being on my podcast show tonight.
Yes, you are so welcome. And now I'm have to return the favor.
Oh, girl, I'm ready.
It's gonna be a special episode.
Oh, Lord. Just be good.
I am, I promise. I promise. Pinky swear. I will be
Okay.
on my best behavior.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Life Her Podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube and all major platforms, even my audio platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, all of that good stuff, y'all. So please continue on and watch the next interview coming up. Is another amazing one. And peace out, y'all.